This is TWiT.
Longtime listeners and viewers of the show know that the state of messaging is something that irks me on a daily basis. SMS and MMS are dead protocols as far as I'm concerned, and I hate the walls that have been built around operating systems and their messaging platforms. I just want open and free messaging that works and is current and cutting edge to the days that we live in, not the 80s like when SMS was invented. Well, apparently Google agrees with me, because they just keep swinging that bat at the pinata, but sooner or later they're going to hit it, I think. So news broke a couple of days ago that basically we can say goodbye to Allo for now and hello Chat, according to these rumors. So Chat is not a new app from Google, but rather a flavor of RCS and hopefully a deal with carriers to support it. So what these rumors are saying is that Allo development is on pause and the team is working with Chat. And it's going to be using the Rich Communication Services, RCS, which we talked about before in the past.
Oh, yeah.
And it adds IM features to carrier messaging, such as user presence, so you can see so-and-so is typing. You get read receipts, location sharing, that kind of enhanced additional stuff that you get from like a WhatsApp or a iMessage or, that sort of thing. There are different flavors of RCS, and carriers like to have their own. And it seems that the carriers are actually being slow to support RCS, which is true. We've totally seen that. Google wants them all to adopt Google's flavor called Chat. And on Android, this happens right now via Android messages, but that could be rebranded to Chat. If only they had some sort of developer conference coming up soon where they could announce something. Also, Samsung's messaging app will support Chat. And with carrier support, messaging woes on Android could be a thing of the past. But it's important to note that if you are friends with people who use iOS phones, like iPhones and things like that, iMessage is not RCS capable at the moment, though, which would result in text-only messaging with iPhone users. No end-to-end encryption, though, like SMS, but unlike most messaging apps, something like WhatsApp or whatnot, it does have end-to-end encryption. Or Allo or Telegram or the other ones that are go really close down the encryption mode. It will have a web client, thank God, but in the QR code sort of way, and that you sync it up with your to your phone, which I'm fine with that, by the way. Just we'll get to that more. But basically, this is just another chapter in Google's ongoing attempts to try with messaging. But they've always depended on people sharing their app. Whether it was Allo or whatever flavor it would be, this could be a way around it by instead of providing the one messaging app to rule them all, it's really pushing a future forward protocol that other apps can plug into. Ben, what do you think? Is this attempt going to be successful?
I hope it's successful, but it seems tough to rely on carriers to do that. It's probably the best bet they've had so far, though.
Yeah, I guess that's the big question is what kind of success is Google going to have when you're going the carrier route? If all the carriers have a vested interest in having their own standard, their own flavor of RCS, how successful is Google already? Like maybe they've already made these relationships and discussions, but how successful will they be in saying, no, this is what you need to do? Apparently they've got Samsung on board, like you said, Ron. So, I mean, that's a big deal. All Samsung phones, whether they have Android messages installed or not, will have Samsung's messaging app installed, and those will support the new chat protocol. So that's a lot of users right out of the gate. And that's what Google really needs, right? In order to get messaging improved on the Android platform.
Well, and it's so this all comes. I'm okay. It's lots to unpack here. I'm not surprised this is happening because, as we know, I think it's over a year ago. But Google acquired Jibe, which was an RCS messaging platform. So it's clear that this is the development of what they got from acquiring Jibe, right? I think after the latest, I don't want to say fail, but the latest attempt with Allo, I think that they learned very strongly what worked and what didn't work and what it's going to take. And it proved the bet that Jibe was the right acquisition to do and that they got to move in the protocol standpoint, in the protocol direction. Just recently, I've continued to have difficulties with my friends and family and things like that. SMS and MMS are such a dead protocol. And if despite iMessage not being RCS standard, if Google can lay the groundwork and do the negotiation with the carriers, do the negotiation with the Samsung and the other Android OEMs, which, they'll fall in line, you get a mass amount of people that forces Apple to respond. Hopefully, I don't know. It forces Apple to say, okay, we'll support RCS. We can all agree to it, and we can stop these messaging wars. I'm being optimistic on this one, Flo. Do you disagree?
I don't think it's going to force Apple to do anything, quite frankly. Yeah. It took them a long time just to adopt USB 3. Or whatever it was that they did.
Are they incented to? Like, is there really incentive for Apple to be like, sure?
They have their own servers for iMessage, and it works perfectly fine for their users. And my friends can talk to me when there are planes. I just can't talk to them, and that's fine for them.
Right.
They're okay with it. All right, we know how this works. Also, I just want to add a note that RCS, all the American carriers are on board except for Verizon. Okay. So if anybody who's on Verizon, you might know if you buy a phone from Verizon, it comes with Verizon messages, which is a whole other thing in of its own.
Yeah. I don't know if this chart is supposedly showing who's on board, but even there, Verizon's listed. But so maybe they are.
Maybe Verizon's on board with Google Chat.
Yeah.
This particular standard.
Yeah, right. So, to that perspective, this could be kind of a big deal. It's easy to see. It's easy to read this and go where we always go with the discussion of messaging and Google, which is, oh, here we go again. Google's got a new thing, blah, blah, blah. But the reason we keep bringing it up and it keeps staying in this discussion and keeps being tackled by Google is because it's really dang important for them to get it right, and they haven't been able to do that. This, kind of going to the source of the problem as opposed to expecting that they can release an app that everybody's going to suddenly magically abandon the thing they're used to using that they've been using for years to then use this, and all the people that they know are going to do the same. That's a really tall
The problem
order.
is Allo is supposed to be a WhatsApp competitor, which is a really bad idea because you're basically going against a very established network that also is now owned by Facebook.
Yeah,
so there's and Facebook has got that corner of the market, obviously, down in its own way.
The international implications of WhatsApp alone are just,
exactly.
Right now.
And to expect that all of us would just come running over to Allo. I use it with a very small network. I use it with you guys, and I use it with my husband, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's almost
honestly,
like we use
which
it
is fine because we talk about the podcast, off hours, and then my husband and I would talk about groceries, which is fine. But the Android Messages app is still awful. I'm sorry. It is not. It is slow to load. I want to be able to keep all of my logs and not have it take forever to load. MMS doesn't always come through when it's supposed to.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
Sometimes messages aren't marked as read after I've popped into them. The GIF integration. I just want to be able to easily drop in a GIF into a message and have it feel like a normal part of the conversation and not some
Well, it's amazing because so my in-laws all are iPhones and I've kind of mentioned, we could all move to WhatsApp because I've got my whole family on WhatsApp and a lot of my friends on WhatsApp, and the difference is startling. Going from a group text grouping where message come in delayed, they're wait, who said what? Did you do it? People don't get messages. It's so much confusion. Yeah. And then I go over to my side of the family and we're all on WhatsApp and we're in little groups and messages all go through. It shows me when someone's read my message. They can see when I've read theirs. It just works, and it proves that a data-driven messaging platform is the future. It's just, I just hope that Google has the clout to get the carriers to get on board and that we can inch closer to it. And if iOS doesn't play along, fine, I'll deal with it. I'm sure they'll have, some backward compatibility or a way to go fall back to SMS or whatnot. But if we can get our side of the room to be working on RCS, I think that's a win.
Yeah. Actually, when you put it that way, it's the exact same thing that iOS users have. All their sides have that, and there is no interconnectivity with the other part of the world other than a green bubble on what they get when they extend outside of that iOS kind of network. Yep. So it'd be the same thing. Sure, you do it, we could do it too. Whatever.
Just consolidate it. Just consolidate it and make it easy.
Yeah.
Just put the Allo UI, which is honestly why I like using it, because it's just quick and easy and it just looks nice and it's pretty and it's cute. And then put all of the functionality of Android messages in there or Google Chat or whatever. Perfect. Done. Finished.
Lickety split.
I solved all your problems right there.